Aye, shepherd's pie, greetings from the Philippines. Welcome back to the garden for a coffee and a chat. I might have timed it wrong today because the roosters really are in full force. If you come out in the garden after 4 o'clock, they can be a nightmare. But we will plod on because the whinging Pom is back to do what he does best today and whinge. Well, not really. I just want to have a chat about something that has increasingly come to bother me as time has passed in the Philippines. I'd say it started off as a minor irritation, then it became a source of amusement, but now, to be honest with you, I'm starting to view it as a clear and present danger. Now you may think I'm being overdramatic, maybe I am, but I find it fascinating and worrying because it is a phenomenon that I've never really seen outside the Philippines, apart from maybe in Cambodia, but to a far lesser extent. So what am I talking about? I am talking about know-it-all expats. These chaps that seem to linger in the comments, that know everything about the Philippines. They seem to wear the length of time they've lived in the Philippines as some badge of honour. You know, anyone else's opinion isn't worth anything because they haven't lived here for 20 years, 30 years, etc. We're all talking shit. Only they know. Now, you might think this is all small beans in the grand scale of things. And as I say, maybe I'm being overdramatic. But it increasingly bothers me because I honestly don't care what they say about me. I honestly don't care if they disagree with my opinions or my observations. Because they are just my opinions. They are just my observations. And at the end of the day, what do I know? We're all wrong from time to time. Apart from these chaps, they're never wrong. And I'm always go at great lengths to say the thing about the Philippines is everyone's experiences are different. They just are. You know, I have been incredibly lucky in terms of the bureaucracy and the things I've tried to do over here. When we got the bike, we got our registration documents quicker than most people, it would appear. When I went to open a bank account, I opened it straight away the same day, no problems. I got my driving licence, went down to the LTO just to inquire, got it in 3 hours. So I've been very lucky, but I am well aware that my experiences are not universal. Some people have had bloody nightmares trying to do the things that I've found simply. But that's not because I went about them in any special way or I'm some genius. I was just lucky. You know, that is the reality of things over here. You know, the rules change on a daily basis. They vary from island to island. You know, that is just the Philippines. And I go to great lengths to emphasise that when I make the videos. But there are some people who just will not accept that. And as I say, it's strange because I've not met many of these people socially. And if I did, I'd avoid them. Because who likes know-it-alls? You know, but I haven't. You know, most of the videos I make are either my experiences or issues that have been highlighted to me when I've had conversations with people that have been out. And I'll say, I didn't realise that was a video, an issue, maybe I should do a video on it. But the reason I'm talking about these people now is, as time's gone on and I've read the comments, I've started to look at things differently. Because I did a video a long time ago, well I say a long time ago, about 8 months ago, avoid these people in the Philippines or when you're in Thailand. And what I was specifically talking about then was scammers, expat scammers, who try and get you to invest in schemes, try and, scam you on this and that. Because you get a lot of them. They are a thing in certain places in Thailand, particularly somewhere like Pattaya, because you get a lot of expats there that love their lifestyle, the money's running out, they're desperate not to return to their home country, so they will stoop to low levels, become deceitful, and just basically try and mug people out of their money so they can stay longer in Thailand. It is just a thing. And these people are despicable. We all know that. Scammers are no good. You get them over here, but not to the same extent. I saw what happened to Paul McGill, with that land that he's bought. And, so it happens here. It is a thing. You do get expat scammers over here. But it tends to be, again, I have no empirical evidence to back this up. It's just my observations. Tends to be a lot more Filipino scams going on here, as opposed to expats scamming other expats. Whereas in Thailand, it's a lot more expat on expat scams. I think a lot of that's because the laws are not quite so ambiguous in Thailand. Don't get me wrong, you will get partners, Thai partners, supposedly scamming their partners out of land and houses and things like that. And you will get plenty of expat experts who'll say, don't let the woman do this, don't let the woman do that. But you don't have many conversations there about the regulations and the rules, because they're much more streamlined in Thailand than they are here. There's not so much ambiguity. So why do I have a problem with these know-it-all expats? Two reasons, which is why I say they have evolved from a minor irritation. Because the first time you see it, I've been here 30 years, you don't know shit, you're blah, blah, blah. You just think, oh, what a knob. But then when the same person pops up saying the same things, you're just like, here he goes again, and you laugh about it. But then as time's gone on, I thought, what if people are listening to these people? What if people are seeing these comments and believing what they're saying and taking that as the push they needed to buy land or make this purchase, or to take a step which is risky, which they wouldn't necessarily have taken if they hadn't seen these comments from these masters of the universe who know everything about the Philippines, who've never had a problem and nothing is an issue to them. Which is why I say I think they are a clear and present danger. Because we all like to hear what we want to hear. That's just a natural, the way people are. If you've got your heart set on building a house or buying this or doing whatever, that's what you want to do. You're not necessarily going to want to hear people saying, don't do this, don't do that, or don't do whatever. And if you do see that, it's going to cause cognitive dissonance. You're going to think, well, I want to do that, but maybe I shouldn't. So if you then see these comments saying, don't worry about it, it's not an issue, this never happens, etc., a lot of people are going to cling on to that. And that's why I say I think they're quite dangerous. I think these people are potentially, maybe I'm being dramatic, you make your decisions, as I say, listen to what I say, take it with a pinch of salt. But I'm starting to think these people are as dangerous, in some ways, as actual scammers. Because they are encouraging people to throw the dangers to the wind and do this or do that. And as a result of that, they're like middlemen to the scam that the people, or the mistake that these people end up making. They are complicit in a way in what's happened. As I say, I genuinely believe that to be the case now. And I do not know what makes these people tick. Even though I find them I still find them quite fascinating, because, they're not trolls, I don't think. Trolls just will throw some comment up because they're desperate for the attention, and they'll make some outlandish, ridiculous statement, you're this blah 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 blah. You know what they're like? They're losers. They're not happy people. They just crave the attention they get, and they just need. They're just desperate for a reaction. That's what makes them tick. I don't think these chaps are the same as that. I don't know what it is that their game is, and obviously it will be different from know-it-all to know-it-all. I mean, some of them will be lying. I mean, there's a couple. I'm not going to dig anyone out. I mean, they might know who they are when they watch this video, if they watch this video. But they've done everything. You know, they've done, oh, this is not a problem. They've done this, they've done that, they've done this, they've done that. Kind of done everything. So you start to think, well, this guy's full of shit. Maybe some of them, I'm sure a lot of them do, genuinely believe what they're saying to be true. But do they not have any sense of reality? I mean, the example would be, the last few videos I've done, I did a video on the exit clearance certification you need to leave the Philippines if you've been here after 6 months, a year, whatever. I did the video, last one I did, on buying a scooter and the problems with registration, etc. Now, I have made these videos based on my own experiences. I'm not lying. I have made these videos based on conversations I've had with other expats. Now, you could dismiss my content, but if you've got any sense of critical thinking, just go down and read the comments, because you will invariably see the vast majority, I'll go as far as to say the vast majority, have experienced the same thing or similar things. So why would anyone with half a brain cell not be able to read those and think, well, okay, that wasn't my experience, but it was their experience, so maybe I was lucky, or maybe they might have done something wrong, and I'll help them. Because I've got no problem with someone saying in the comments, I mean, this is what I think a constructive comment is, to say, oh, well, you had that experience, but I didn't. Maybe it's because of this, or next time you should try that. But they won't. They don't. They'll say things like, you do not need this to leave the Philippines. You might need a return ticket, etc., etc. This is not true, blah, blah, blah. Follow the rules and you will be fine. And it's not true. I mean, that's the reality, it's not true. There are stories, there are people who have been, it is a thing. Just read the local Filipino newspapers on the subject, the online articles. Off-boarding is a thing. If your Filipina is travelling by herself, it's more like, or even when she's travelling with you, etc., even if you've crossed all the dots, there is a significant chance, under certain circumstances, they can get off-boarded. There is a real possibility that you could go and catch a flight and not be allowed to exit because you don't have the correct paperwork and miss your flight. Now, these are realities. It's the truth. Not based on my experience. I haven't experienced the latter, but a lot of people have. It is a thing. So why are these people denying it? Why are they stating it as fact? It does not happen. It will not happen. I have done this, I have done that, etc. As I say, probably I'm making a fuss over nothing. But I wanted to make a video today, and it is something that increasingly is getting my goat. Because these people will be nowhere to be seen when your girlfriend is off-boarded, as they call it. They'll disappear. You know, you don't even know who they are. When you buy land, and because it's not an issue and don't worry about this, etc., etc., and you find out that the deeds weren't correct and the land belongs to someone else, then they're not going to help you. You know, I'm not telling people, I've never have told people what to do in any sense, not intentionally. If I have, I apologise. That's not what I'm trying to do. But there are certain realities in life. You know, buying and owning land in the Philippines has more inherent risks than it does in most of our home countries. That's not to say you should do it or you shouldn't do it. That's your choice. But when you make the decision, make an informed decision. Don't listen to me. Don't listen to any one person. Particularly these people who will say it's not an issue. You will get people and they will say, well, this has worked out fantastically, this has worked out fantastically, etc, etc, etc. Well, good luck to them. And I don't want to go down the land one because I know a lot of people who are very happy with the decision to buy land. Just making the point, you know, I've got property in the UK, I'm a landlord. If someone asked me about buying land in the UK or whether they should do it, I would say to them, well, look, there are advantages, there are pitfalls. It's worked out well for me, but I've been lucky. You know, who knows what tomorrow holds? Who knows what's going to happen in 5 years' time? You know, it's nothing in life is without risk in any country in the world. But if people can't see that these risks are more inherent in the Philippines than the vast majority of countries, certainly any Western country, then they're either delusional or they are being disingenuous. And as I say, it concerns me that certain people who want to make a decision, they want to do something, they're looking for, you know, things to enforce that they're making the right decision. These people spring up and they give them the validation potentially that they need to make a decision. And I don't think it's wise following their advice. I mean, one thing that makes me laugh, I have lived in the Philippines for coming up 16 months now. So what do I know? I've not been here long. But I'm in a relationship with my girlfriend. She's lived there her entire life. You know, so when people say, you know, you don't know, this is wrong, that is wrong, this is not an issue, invariably these are things which Ellen tells me are an issue. Not that many expats have been here longer than her. I mean, these people seem to think you're in a bubble, that because I've been here 16 months, I don't know what I'm talking about. I talk to people. I've got a mate up in, classic example being, I have a friend, Ray, up in Valencia, who runs a garage, which does, you know, rents out scooters. It's where I used to rent the scooter from. You know, buys and sells cars, repairs them, etc. You know, it's his living. He's been here 35 years. You know, there's not that many people who know more about the Philippines or buying cars or motorbikes than he does, I would hazard to guess. And when I've asked him things about that in the past, he's told me be wary of this, you know, you can buy a second-hand bike, but, you know, buy it from an expat because there's always a chance the bike is stolen, and then you've got to take it here and get it validated. Oh, when you go to the LTO, it could take months for this and that. You know, so I listen to people like that. And when you see expats disagreeing with them, you're thinking, really? Really? Okay, I'm full of shit, I don't know what I'm talking about. But he's clearly not. You know, and this is the trouble. I don't know why these people make these statements. It's why do people spread fake news on the internet or fake news on social media. Don't know what they're trying to achieve. Maybe they are a bit like trolls. Maybe people will sit back and say, wow, you know, God, you've been here 30 years. Wow, amazing. That's fantastic or whatever. But it's nonsensical when you break it down. And as I say, that's why it worries me. I still find it amusing to a certain extent. But like the last video I did about the bikes, you know, there were people in the comments, one guy had bought a car, it had taken him 8 years to get the paperwork or whatever. And in the end he'd had to fly or send someone to fly all the way up the middle to get it sorted. They were going to fine him 40,000 pesos because he hadn't got this, even though the LTO hadn't issued it. You know, this guy's not lying. These are real things. I've got friends over in, I was talking to on Sunday at the Bowls. One of them 6 years before he got his licence plates. And yet you'll get people in the comments saying, it's not an issue, it's not a problem, you don't do this, I've done that. I think, okay. What I'm trying to get at, I think, is this is the way I always look at life. You've got to take people's advice with a pinch of salt. You've got to. Some advice will be good, some advice will be bad. But I don't know that many people who offer advice, unsolicited advice. And I like that. There are certain people over here, I've got a few expat friends who, I value everyone's opinions, but there are a few who I, rightly or wrongly, I seek out their advice. You know, I will ask them, what do you think about this? What do you think about that? Because I value their opinions, and they will give me their opinions, and I will take on board what they say. And I'll generally follow it. But I'll usually do a bit of research, and I might ask more than one person. And if I get contradicting statements, I'll do a bit of research. And if it turns out the advice I was given was wrong, I don't hold it against them. We all give advice. I've given incorrect. We all give incorrect advice, you know. But I know the advice. I asked for it, and I know it was given with the best intentions. But these people who throw the advice at you without it being asked, you know, if they overhear a conversation in a bar or whatever, like, no, you need to do this and that's what you must do, etc., etc. They're the ones I tend less to listen to, you know, unless I know them very well. And anyone, as a rule, who states an opinion as a fact, see that, you do not need this fact, you have to do this fact, I just straight away, you know, there are no facts in life, and there certainly are no facts in the Philippines. Anyway, I think I've gone on long enough today. Recently I've had a few digs about how my videos take half an hour. Well, this one isn't going to take half an hour. I thought they'd take about 15 minutes. And maybe I am being over dramatic, but I don't actually think I am. You know, I think it's, you know, the Philippines is a confusing place. With the best will in the world. It's a great place. I mean, I'm not gonna, you know, I'm a bit worried that all the videos I've done recently are negative. So I'm gonna bang out a couple of positive ones over the next coming week, touch wood. You know, I've done a few vlogs and things. I know some people like the vlogs, some people don't. But just to show what life is like here. And this isn't a dig about the Philippines, this is a dig about, I say, these know-it-all expats, because anyone that comes here will generally find it confusing. You know, they will rely on their partners for guidance, etc. Sometimes the guidance their partners give them because of language barriers, etc., will leave them confused. And they will look for answers. That's why you've got so many information channels on the Philippines. I say I'm not an information channel. I don't know enough to profess to be an information channel. But I enjoy reading the comments, and I enjoy reading people when they explain their experiences, because some of the experiences are reassuring, some of the experiences, they're reassuring because, you know, it's not always that way, it might be okay. And some of them, they validate my opinion, think, right, I was right, I wasn't a whinging pom about that one. Lots of people have experienced it. But yeah, these, and there's a growing number of them that just pop up, where it's follow the rules, and you haven't read this, and do that, or whatever. Oh, I say, to me, on the whole, I find him irritating. I find them, some of them amusing, because I just think, right, what's he going to say to this? But it does concern me that these people are potentially having a very detrimental effect on the people that listen to them. So if you're watching this video, my warning to you, my advice will be careful who you take advice from. There you go. Anyway, I'm not going to plough on because I will just end up repeating the same thing over and over again. Just want to get it off my chest. So hopefully you liked the video. If you did, smash the like button. If you haven't subscribed, it would be fantastic if you did. But whether you do or whether you don't, wherever you are, whatever you're doing, stay safe and be lucky.